the ninja.
What's up, folks? Duet Ninja here. Glad you guys could check out this vid. Today I put out, gosh, in terms of TikTok, I put out about what was it? 3, 6, 9, about 12 to 15 videos. Might have been 18. There was a lot of communication today. Obviously, what went on in Minnesota, the riots, the protest, predominantly, but the riots as well. And of course, more information will come out about that. I guarantee you, folks. When it comes to rioting, there's really it's really hard to pinpoint who's doing what, because it was shown in Ferguson, it was shown in other rioting aspects. For some reason, it always happens. Always happens to the ones that involve black Americans. But it seems that just looking at history and how the FBI operates and law enforcement, local law enforcement, there might have been instigators in that situation, but there's also the chance of people coming outside of the community into that environment and just wreaking havoc, man, and just no pun intended, but giving people a black eye when it comes to that. Because a lot of videos today on TikTok, well, comments I should say, were about how can people stand up for people that are rioting, when in numerous occasions it's a pocket, it's a handful of people out of hundreds of thousands possibly, that causes this occurrence. Now, with that being said, it does not help that law enforcement are instigating in their approach to this. They're coming in almost instantaneously in a combative format, even though it's obvious, due to the tape that's out there on that poor gentleman George, that lost his life because of that. Let me dial it down. Because of that quote unquote person that's that had to do that to him. They're protecting this guy, and that does not look good. Number one. Number two, the way they're protecting this guy, and from what I saw, standing outside his home, they got him. There might have been 100 deep. So and so instead of arresting this individual for obviously manslaughter, they decide to have uniformed officers protect this man in damn riot gear, almost full riot gear, tear gassing, things of that nature. How do you think these people are going? They're trying to instigate a situation, and that's always been the case. You look at the Ferguson situation. I was in where was I at in that situation? I think I was at one of the high schools. I might have been at the special needs school. I'm not sure, but I know myself and the faculty, we talked about that shit almost every day. In the school I was working in, and I'm pretty sure it was the special needs school. The school I was working in at that time, gosh, the employee population was probably 80 to 85% African American, Black American, and whatever the fuck you want to call it. American, damn it. So I mean, we talked about that on on several occasions at length, and it never seems to resolve itself, because we're constantly being reminded that this shit ain't fair. Not because one side is better than the other, but one side is predicated on violence towards another. That's the problem. One of the problems. Another situation that pops up today was, oh gosh, I commented on so many things. But one thing that stuck out to me was a question that kind of hit me, man. I was like, damn, because the question was, how do we get rid of stereotyping and racism and just seek equality? Again, that really touched me, man, because I want to see a resolution. If it requires a revolution, That would really suck, because that means shit's gonna get destroyed. But well, there's numerous ways to hold a revolution. But anyway, how to stop racism and stereotyping other people, especially Americans. And I responded in quite an honest way. I think we don't want to. That requires a lot of work. That requires a lot of work mentally. You're talking about undercutting hundreds of years of identification. Now, that identification has changed for some groups of people, but one that remains and always will remain up until the point where we change this perception is that I hate to be cliche, but Black lives don't matter. I mean, you can't not see what's going on around you in the United States in terms of what I call state sanctioned violence, because these people work for the state, they work for a county, they work for a city. They're using taxpayers' dollars to snuff out lives unnecessarily. That's state-sponsored terrorism, damn near. If you want to look at, in terms of definition, terrorism exists to change minds and to hold people in a state of fear. You can check it out yourself. So that's hampering the situation that we could possibly be in, which is a peaceful one. I don't seek equality. I don't think equality is an attainable goal in terms of outcome. Now, if you want to talk about equal opportunity, great, let's do that. All people aren't equal, because all people are not the same. But the circumstances that they find themselves in should have a baseline that promotes a positive growth process, so one can contribute to society in a positive manner. Because that's what you need. You need positive things to happen within a society to get that momentum. I can't pinpoint. I'm talking about on a national level. I can't pinpoint a situation where we all came together. Wait, yes, I can, but it's always predicated on tragedy. 9/11. It's always predicated on tragedy. If it takes tragedy to pull a nation together, which it didn't, that was just a facade, obviously. But if it takes that to get people to think like, yeah, we're all Americans, let's do this, then we'll be at war forever, just to maintain peace here, but not to defeat an enemy, right? But to suppress the thought process of unity between Americans, so we can have a better society. I shouldn't be so obtuse. I understand why people don't see these things, and even if they do see it, they don't want to believe it. And I spoke on the stages of grief. If you want to look at that, some say 7. What I learned at the university level was 5, but whatever, because that was almost 20 years ago. So, but the stages of grief. When something uproots your whole routine, right? Grief can creep in, and people. You also have to understand in this current situation, in this current environment, people are already on edge, and especially folks who had the lower wage jobs. You know, the ones who lost their jobs, the ones who are filing for unemployment, the ones who are trying to scrape to get by even more now. You think they're not on edge? It's an unnecessary occurrence right now. We should all be trying to help each other, and that includes law enforcement. We should all be trying to help each other. And the fact that we don't is going to destroy us. Well, at least it's going to destroy our way of life, which could be a good thing. I don't know. But it's going to be a really bad thing for a lot of people who don't deserve it unnecessarily. You know, you have billionaires who are about to be trillionaires. And it's not because they worked hard and put themselves in a good position. It's because they got the best lobbyists in the world working the Senate and the House and getting legislation passed and, you know, corporate welfare checks and things of these natures. So, you know, and that's also frustrating for people who are scraping to get by. You got people who should have more than enough money to get by, getting even more money. Yet you have people who don't have that skill set to make that kind of money, or they haven't been born into that situation to make that kind of money, or whatever, not get anything, or hardly get anything. And then you got a group of people apparently that are in a particular tax bracket that's not going to get a goddamn dime, which is odd. But get back to work. Work for what? What are we working for? Money ain't gonna fix this shit. Only we gonna fix ourselves, and we can't focus on some type of government note to ensure your mental health and your physical health and your communal health. And I don't know, man. It's been a heck of a day on on TikTok, man. But yeah, that's pretty much my focus in terms of today. I guess I'll start doing like a daily recap or something like that. 'Cause I put out a lot of videos today. I really didn't mean to, but so many people were saying things that I felt like I needed to speak on. So, you guys have a great one. Appreciate your time and watching this video. Tell your friends, subscribe, man. You know, I'll throw up some of those videos that I made. I have the capability to do that, so I'll throw up some of those videos I made in kind of like a recap format and things of that nature. So, y'all take care.
Ninja warriors, the powers they hold are legendary.